Hey guys, it's your girl with the world, Cara Celeste, and I am here today to talk about the controversy around Cuties. Now, there was a lot of things that were being said. Cancel Netflix hashtag was trending. I honestly kind of agree with that hashtag on how they decided to market the movie over in America versus the marketing that they used in France. So, Cuties, let's go to it. It is a movie directed by Memona Ducouré, which I'm probably mispronouncing that all wrong. I didn't hate the movie. I watched it actually because of her interview with someone where she said people who get this bad rap on the movie, they've never watched it. And so I was like, that's me. I'm talking about how this movie provokes pedophilia, which it does. I could see how it does, not just based off of the marketing. But I was like, I better watch this before I say anything or I keep talking about it. So I watched the movie. It is about a young girl and the hypersexualization of young women today, and because we go by the saying, sex sells. And sex does sell. Because sex, there's a reason why the Bible talks about it so predominantly as like one of the worst sins, even though all sex is basically the same. It is the most, like, provocable sin. Like, besides lying. I guess lying is pretty bad. Like, everybody lies, like, almost all the time. But sex sin is, that's physical. Sex sin doesn't go away. In fact, biologically, once a person has sex, their biology changes. You get heavier mood swings in male and female, heavier mood swings because you want it more, you crave it more, and because you crave it more, it messes with your psychology, and it starts making you have, like, weird dreams, and for some of us, we know what those dreams are called. And so, yeah. So I want to talk about the movie a little bit in a sense, and I'll get into some notes that I kind of dissected about today's society, and because art imitates or mimics life, why we have a movie like Cuties nowadays. And I love French film for that because they're so raw, they're so honest, they kind of really go with the times. So the movie, I really liked the idea. Yes, children at 11 years old, even earlier than that, the average age for a child to lose their virginity is 9 years old. The average age for children to start watching pornography is 6 years old. Yeah, just think about that. If you become a teacher, you start doing service work with children. That little 6-year-old who barely knows how to speak, they're watching porn probably. And because their parents give them a phone. So here's another thing. I really liked the film. I liked the idea. However, I did not like the cinematography. You were basically handing child pornography or soft child pornography over to a pedophile. I think there are other ways that you could have filmed the little girls dancing and stuff. But at the end of the film, the parents, they're at their little competition and they're twerking and they're popping each other's bottoms and stuff. And the parents, they don't like it. The judges love it. So that's what she's trying to show is like the producers, they know that sex will sell. The parents, why do they want that for their child? So now I'm going to talk about two facts between people who literally sell bodies and people like parents who want the best for their child. So I am going to bring up an example of Jaco Booyens. This happened to his sister. Jaco Booyens and his family are from South Africa, and he runs an organization now where they try and stop sex trafficking and sex pedophilia. America is the #1 hub for sex trafficking and clients of sexually trafficked young females and males. And so he runs an organization all around the world that stops this, specifically in America, and he has a documentary called 8 Days on, and you can watch it free on Tubi. I am about to watch it, haven't watched it yet. His sister, he started this because his sister was sex trafficked. And you wouldn't believe how she got into sex trafficking. Nobody kidnapped her, which still happens. The whole white van thing, yeah, that still happens. She was sex trafficked by producers. She won either that or got really high up in South Africa's version of American Idol. She's a really good singer. And so they were like, oh, well, we want to do a tour with her. Well, the producers started raping her, and then they started sex trafficking her. So when she came back, they realized this wasn't the same sister or daughter that they let go to the world. So that's another thing too. Parents, we have to pay attention. We have to be there with our child, no matter what. You have to be honest with your child about a lot of things. Your child is not stupid. Children learn to lie at 2 years old. They learn how to tell a simple yes or no lie at 2 years old. And then they build off of that. Not only that, children listen to you. I have friends who have a little 4-year-old girl. And so they were giving us some furniture, me and my family. And so my brother came over to help, and he said the S-H-I-T word in front of their daughter. And she looked at me and she smirked. And I said, you need to be quiet because she hears that. And he was like, children don't listen. This girl used to cuss in front of me. Not in front of mom and dad, but in front of me and to me. And this girl used to get snarky with me because her mom's really sassy, and I love that about her mom, but she thought she could do that with me. No. No, 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 no. Also, her dad is the one who makes all the money. They have a stay-at-home mom. My friend is a stay-at-home mom, and dad goes out, does everything, and when he comes home, he just wants to spend time with his daughter, and I love this about him. He just wants to spend time. He wants to give her the world. However, here's the difference on how she treated me and mommy versus how she treated daddy. Me and mommy, you can't get what you want. We're trying to make you the best you that you can be, the best woman you can be in society. Daddy, here's the world. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to get you whatever you need. Yeah? So guess how she acted in front of daddy? Like a little baby. She's 4 years old. At 3 years old, the little baby goes away. The little baby, the goo goo gaga stuff, that stuff goes away. You can't keep goo goo and gaga at 4 years old. And one day I was having dinner with them, and the dad, something got brought up, and he was like, you guys were right. I was getting played. Yeah, little kids learn how to play with you, or play you, when they're that young. They sure do, because kids know what they want. We are naturally selfish creatures. So parents, it is in Proverbs. It is okay to discipline your child. Your child needs to understand discipline. In fact, children love rules. They want to know the rules. So that way, that's the whole Jordan Peterson thing, that way they can go and put the rules on somebody else. So Jordan Peterson says this. He goes, learn what the rules are so you can make your own rules. And he goes, because life is a game. And you don't want to just play the game so you can win every time, because then people aren't going to want you to come back. We see this in rats. If a baby rat keeps losing to a more adult rat, they'll stop playing with that rat. So how many games are you going to get invited to play to, right? That's what we want. We always want to get invited to the game. We don't want to just sit at home like me. I'm kind of a hermit. I'm not a really good friend. So people don't invite me out to go play the game. Do you know what I'm saying? So I sit at home. I sit by myself. I invite people to my game, which I always want to win. And that was my pride. And so thank you, Jesus. We've calmed that down. So yeah. So parents, are you paying attention? Pay attention. Here's another thing. When you give your child a phone at 6 years old, I have a child in my class who has a phone, and she is 6 years old. So we were sitting in a circle one day. This is the first day of class. So the first day of class, I just, as a teacher, you want to get to know your students. Not only that, you want to know what the students are learning nowadays, because you have to try and make a connection with them, or else they don't want to learn from you if you're not willing to kind of get to their level and understand where they're coming from. But I still want them to be the best thing that they can be in life, because that's my job. And so we're sitting in a circle, and I asked the kids, tell me your name, what you want to be when you grow up, and show us your favorite dance move, because it's a dance class. And so they get out, they tell me their name. Now again, kids are not dumb. I have kids who want to be illustrators. They don't want to be YouTube. Some of them may want to be YouTube famous, but not the majority want to be YouTube famous. The majority of them wanted to be artists. One girl wanted to be an illustrator. A few of them wanted to be bosses. And I thought they were being sarcastic, like a dance move, like I'm a boss and stuff like that. So I thought it was that, and they were like, no, I want to own my own company. And they will tell you in detail what they want to sell. They're not stupid. They are not stupid. They are very smart, specifically in this technological age. But we need to show them how they can get invited to the game with other players. Not this game, where they don't talk to anyone. They're just on a screen by themselves. We don't want them to be like Wally, fat and in chairs and watching TV and drinking Slurpee, weird drink things, nutrition drinks. So anyway, so we get to my last girl, and she was like, hello, my name is this. I want to be TikTok famous. I already am. And I'm like, you TikTok famous? You already have a phone? And she's like, yeah, I have a phone. Like, I call people, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, okay, so show us your favorite dance move. And she pulls out, I'm a savage, classy, bougie, ratchet. And she did all the dance moves to it. She threw it back. She did the mop thing. Whatever the dance move is, I just know that she threw it back. And I was like, and I was laughing. But I will tell you this. I was not laughing at her. I'm laughing at her parents. The fact that her parents allow her to do that and they think it's cute. No, you're allowing your child to understand what sex is. So I'm going to tell you this. If your child has a phone, as a male child, this is what internet, those big mega media giants, this is what they do. Not just media giants like Twitter and Facebook. Those people, those are who I'm talking. Social media giants. This is who I'm talking about. They look at your identity, how you identify. So are you male? Are you female? Are you homosexual? Are you an artist? They look at all these things, right? So most times if you identify as a male, a straight male, they will fill your discovery feed. So if you go to the discovery tab on your Instagram, they will fill it with pictures of just women, all sorts. Nice women, mainly, not even nice women, mainly women who are sexually posing. Like this pose right here, I cannot stand this pose right here. This one, I hate that pose. And guess what? I have kids that come into my dance class and will do that all the time. It makes me incredibly upset to watch children do that and think that it's normal and that it's cool and they should be doing it all the time. No. So, parents, pay attention. What are your kids learning? I want to go back to sex, and I want to talk predominantly about Lydia from Pride and Prejudice. So if you don't know Pride and Prejudice, there are 5 daughters, and the mom is very pretentious, and she wants them just all to be out of the house, and she wants them to be married. Like, the oldest, I think, is going on 30 and still isn't married, but she's a beauty to all men, and the youngest is not even 15 yet. She's 14 years old. And so the youngest is a huge flirt. In fact, people can't stand her because she's so annoying and such a flirt. So because she sexualizes herself so much, men only see her for that. That's all she is to them. She's not this bright and brilliant woman. So people like Mr. Darcy, so this is what I love about Jane Austen's book, is she takes these ideals of like the perfect man and the ideals of the sexualized woman and the ideas of like the perfect woman. She puts them all in Pride and Prejudice. So Lydia is the flirt. So Lydia will never get a man like Mr. Darcy. Mr. Darcy is rich and he's honorable and he's not even secretive. It's just he's very wise. And so he likes Lydia's sister, Elizabeth, because Elizabeth is wise too. In fact, Elizabeth is honored by men. Her opinion is so honored by men because it is so straightforward and it is so honest and it is true. Not only about women, but of the world. So, because men are out in the world. And so he honors her and he wants to marry her because of that. And so Elizabeth is actually telling her father, don't send Lydia to Brighton. She will be ruined. So here's the thing about old English society. When one daughter elopes with a man before marriage, all honorability is gone with inside the family. So Lydia goes to Brighton and she elopes with a man, Mr. Wickham, who is only out for money and has a lot of sex, has racked up debts because he doesn't care about life. So in fact, Lydia kind of deserves a man like Mr. Wickham because she's so out there and she's so pretentious and she's so objectifying, right? And so she deserves Mr. Wickham. But because Elizabeth deserves Mr. Darcy, she truly does deserve Mr. Darcy. And Mr. Darcy doesn't want to be viewed badly, because if he wants to marry her and he doesn't get these two married over here, then Elizabeth is a disgrace. And she would eventually be a disgrace to his family. So he goes and he pays for Mr. Wickham's, he gives Mr. Wickham a dowry and gets Lydia and Mr. Wickham married before disgrace comes upon the whole family and the word gets out that they eloped before marriage. And so, therefore, blah, 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 he marries Elizabeth, there's no disgrace. But do you really want your child to be a Lydia, going out, being a flirt, being used? And like I said before, when you are a sex worker, you're trading your body for something. You're selling sex. You're selling yourself. You're not gaining anything from it. So parents, let's stop being distracted. Let's stop it. Start disciplining your child. It's okay, we have to start from the beginning. Don't allow your child to do anything that will make you hate them. If your child is going out and acting like a disgrace, a child is an extension of you. So if you want to be the best you that you can be, your child has to be the best them that they can be. And you have to help them get to that. You need to guide them. Now, if we're saying, oh, okay, girl, we got our girl out here dancing. If we, as parents, as teachers, if we just say, if we want to be selfish and be like, kid, just here's the screen, so you can have your time, your child is doing the same thing, because that's what society's telling them. You're not cool enough if you can't do this, 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 or this. You're not cool enough if you don't have this, 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 or this. And we're getting sold the same thing as parents and as adults. We need to come together. We need to stop being distracted. We need to learn to play the game, play it fairly, and play it with other people, not with things. A game is not the same played alone. We have to be a community. And if we can do that, then we wouldn't have to have shows and movies like Cuties. That film, I cried in it watching those girls hump the floor. 11-year-old girls. It's sad, it's a disgrace, it's dishonorable. That is our world today. And we're trying to say, oh, it's okay. I think we should stop sexualizing the naked body. You're taking a gift away. You're taking a God-given gift away. The road to goodness is narrow and windy. The road to evil is a broad, straight road. There's one good thing for sex, and that is to love somebody else. There's a lot of bad things for sex. And they're very selfish, and they're very dishonorable, and it leads to a lot of really bad things. So which one do you want to choose? And you can change. Don't get me wrong, I've done a lot of bad things. I ventured out into the world. I let the world take over my thoughts and my opinions and my ideas. And so I thought I would become a stronger woman, and I see this with my friends who are strippers. I thought I'd be a stronger woman by allowing people to do whatever they wanted with my body. I came out of there feeling afraid. I came out of there very depressed. That immediate satisfaction was gone. So I just want to pray for everybody, and I hope we take this and we learn from it. God, you're an amazing God. You're a wonderful God. Help us see our society and what it has become. Help us as parents and as teachers and as people who can spread wisdom, realize what we're good for. The next generation that we're raising up is going to be our future as well. They are going to start making decisions. They are going to start guiding our world. Please, Lord, help us change our ways. Help us become better people. We're so evil. We're so wrong. We're so good at doing evil and wrong. But let us start to see the light and not be blinded by it. Amazing God, you are gracious. You have made us in such a wonderful image. You have given us such wonderful gifts. And even though they are hard to find, we can find them. They are accessible. Help us stay on that narrow, windy path because you guide us. It's in your name we pray. Amen. And I would say, I haven't had time. I don't want to go over 20 minutes even though I have. I want you guys to read Proverbs 31. It is how we should view women in the world. We live in a free country, in a free society where we can do whatever you want. In fact, I'm just going to read it. So, here we go. Proverbs 31, these are the wise sayings of King Lemuel of Massa, taught to him from his mother's knee. So Lemuel is a king, and so understand that this is like kingly speech, but places like America where women and men are free to do whatever they want, despite what you say legislatively, we are free to do whatever we want. Women, we should see ourselves as this in Proverbs 31. O my son, who I have declared to the Lord, do not spend your time with women, the royal pathway to destruction. And it is not for kings, O Lemuel, to drink wine and whiskey, for if they drink, they may forget their duties and be unable to give justice to those who are oppressed. Hard liquor is for sick men at the brink of death, and wine for those in deep depression. Let them drink to forget their poverty and misery. You should defend those who cannot help themselves. Yes, speak up for the poor and needy, and see that they get justice. If you can find a truly good wife, she is worth more than precious gems. Her husband can trust her, and she will richly satisfy his needs. She will not hinder him, but help him all of her life. She finds wool and flax and busily spends it. She buys imported foods brought by the ship from distant ports. She gets up before dawn to prepare breakfast for her household and plans the day's work for her servant girls. She goes out to inspect a field and buys it. With her own hands, she plants a vineyard. She is energetic, a hard worker, and watches for bargains. She works far into the night. She sows for the poor and generously gives to the needy. She has no fear of winter for her household, for she has made warm clothes for all of them. She also upholsters with finest tapestry. Her own clothing is beautifully made, a purple gown of pure linen. Her husband is well known, for he sits in the council chamber with the other civic leaders. She makes belted linen garments to sell to the merchants. She is a woman of strength and dignity and has no fear of old age. When she speaks, her words are wise, and kindness is the rule for everything she says. She watches carefully all that goes on throughout her household and is never lazy. Her children stand and bless her. And so does her husband. He praises her with these words. There are many fine women in the world, but you are the best of them all. Charm can be deceptive, and beauty doesn't last, but a woman who fears and reverences God shall be greatly praised. Praise her for the many things she does. These good deeds of hers shall bring her honor and recognition from even the leaders of the nations. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. I hope you use this. I hope this video helped you. I love you guys so much. You guys have a good one.